Welcome back to my channel. So we'll be making this beautiful panel dress. It has pleats on this side, so the midpoint is straight. The side as well has a bit of pleats, and this is the ruffles, the pleats on the neckline as well. So stay tuned where we'll make this for a sweet mom. Alright guys, like, share and subscribe to my channel. I like to draft my front panel on the pattern paper. I can do the back on the fabric directly. Why? Because there's no bust at the back. So for today, for my classes, I always like to do my panel. I always like to do my front bodies on a pattern paper. Why? Because there's a bust in front, and I would like to take in my bust as always to give it that structure in front. Okay, so today now, let's get to drafting the dress. So like we said, it's a panel dress, but by the sides of the waist, you have some pleats, some gathers there, while the back is looking all straight. But the front, there'll be a bustier in front, it goes all the way to the hem of the dress. Then by the waist of the dress, there's a bit of pleats there, gathers there. So let's get into class swiftly. Okay. The hem of our dress is 56. The length of her dress is 56. So I had my 56 all in this pattern paper. And what I added to my 56 is the difference of my bust dart, the difference of my front half length and my back half length. My front half length is 17, while my back half length is 15.5. So the difference between 17 and 15.5 is 1.5. So I added the 1.5 to the length of my dress, which is 56. So that is 56 plus 1, that's 57 plus 0.5, that's 57 and a half. And I added half an inch sewing allowance. I'm adding half an inch sewing allowance to join the shoulders up and to hem the bottom part. I might really not need the half an inch for the hemline. Why? Because the dress, the fabric we're using is a lace and it has these edges, so there's no need joining. But I'll know what to do while sewing it. So this is the full length of my dress. So let's get to class. So I'll start by imputing I'm using a pen for this tutorial so you can all see. Imputing my shoulder measurement at the top line. So my shoulder measurement is 8.5 divided by 2. Shoulder measurement is 17 divided by 2, which is 8.5, plus my sewing allowance, which is 9, from the midpoint of my pattern paper, which is 9. I think you can see clearly. So I will form that 9 into a square, and that square is going to give me my armhole depth. So 8.5. So on the lower part, I said I was going to form it into a square. On the lower part, I'll make it 9. I'll make it 9. So I'll just even out the lines so that they can all be equal. So 9. On the lower part, I'll make it 9.5. Sorry, instead of 9, 9.5 for ease on the armhole. So I will roll out my lines. So still on the top line, I will impute all my measurements. Like the bust point. The bust point is 12 plus half an inch sewing allowance, which is 12.5. Okay. My front half length is 17. Remember, I considered that's why making the length of the dress. My front half length is 17, which is 17 and a half. Sorry. My under bust. My under bust is 14 and a half, so which is 15. Okay. I don't need my hip line because it's just going to be a straight dress. At the end of the day, I'll cut out the panel I said I was going to use. Or should we just impute the hip? Let's just impute it for justice. I'll use my hip to be at 7.5. Then I'll go ahead and add 1.5 under the hip depth to balance up the hip measurement. I don't really need the hip measurement. I'll just mark it. So I would label this to be hip 1, hip 2. So I'm rolling out. This is my waist. So this is my bust point. This is my under bust. This is my bust point, this is my under bust. So what I'll do next is to impute the bust span. So I'm going to cut this bust span out because I'm going to add in my princess that line. So I'm going to need to cut this pattern out. So whatever it is I have on my bust span, I will add 0.5 to it. So I will start my bust span from my bust point area, and my bust span is 8.5, which is 4.2, plus 0.5, which is 4.75. So I'll take 4.75 all the way down, all the way down. I'll take it down. So I'm connecting all that line all together. I've connected all the way down. So what we'll do next is impute the dart legs. So for a bust 45, I'm going to use a dart leg of 1 inch here and 1.25. On the center fold, I'll use 1 inch, and on this part, I will use 1.25. So the same figure I have here, I will bring it down to the waistline. 1.25. Okay. Then I will, from my hip point, I'll go up 2.5 to like 3 inches upwards. Okay. I'll make a line here, and I'll connect this dart leg. I'll connect this dart leg to this point. And this other dart leg to this point. So I'll connect also here. Okay, then coming back to the bust point. I will come down from the bust point by 1 inch because she has a bust of 45.5. So if this were to be a smaller bust, I will just come down by half an inch here, half an inch here. So let me quickly roll this out. But for this purpose, for this bust size, I'll come down. Let's come down by 0.75. 0.75 for this purpose. So with the help of my French curve, at this point where I mark 0.75, I will balance a curve. Same way here, I will balance the curve. I'll go over to my shoulder line. On the style line, on the neckline, the neck is looking a bit wide but not too wide. So for this, I would use 4 inches for the wideness. 4 inches for the wideness. Then for the depth of the neckline, I want it to drop a bit low. I'll use 5.5 for this. And I'll connect the lines. And for the shoulder slope, I'll come down. I can connect shoulder slope to, for a shoulder of 17, I would likely use between 1.2 to 1.5. So I'll use 1.2 for this and connect to the shoulder line. So because this is a wide neckline, you don't want the neckline gaping. You will have to come in, like come down more and gape it at that point so that it doesn't gape on the person's neckline. If you move closely, you will see what I did so that it balances off on the shoulder line. It balances on the shoulder line. So I would come over to the armhole point and divide whatever it is I have at the armhole point by 2 to get a midpoint where the darts and where the armhole curve will intersect. So at this point, I will come in at 0.5, or I can do 0.6 because she's a bit aged. You don't want anything fighting at her armhole area. So I'll make a sweet curve around shoulder, the point I made, and the armhole. Okay, so I'll connect all points together. Okay, so we have our front armhole curve done. So for us to get our princess bustier curve, I will go directly here from this 0.75 point I made here. I will make a curve. I'll place my curve just around here. You see what I did? I'm connecting from here, from this 0.75 to this armhole. Okay, 0.75 to this armhole. I'll make a curve outwards, just outwards. Okay, then what to do next? In order for you to have a perfect bustier curve at your armhole, coming from the armhole into the bust line, you need to take out, like, and what I do in my own case is I take out the difference between my front half length and my back half length at this point. For a very bigger size, I take out 2, but for this part, let's just take out 1.5. Okay? So I'll come here. Sorry guys, I'll come here. I'll take out 1.5. Okay. Instance, I don't even measure. I just do it randomly, but I know I'm getting a sweet curve there. So what I'll do is from this 0.7, what you're doing here is to take out a dart that will balance your armhole curve. You can actually do this when you're doing a princess seam. You might not decide to take out any curve here, but when you're doing a princess bustier, you want your bust to sit perfectly. Okay, so I took out 1.5. Okay, not to 1.5. So this is done. This is perfect for us. So what I'll do now is impute all my measurements that I need for this class. Okay, so on my waistline, I told you I might likely not need the hip because I will be cutting from, let's say this is my waist, I'll be cutting here all the way down. I don't really need the hip measurements, so just place that for emphasis sake. So for the okay, you know what? Let's come down 1.5 inch away from the waistline, so that by the time we pleat the gathers I talked about, it can be balanced at the waistline. Or let's just come down 1 inch more from the waistline. Please like and share and subscribe to our channel. If you feel this page is having a positive impact in your sewing career, please help us increase this page, help us grow this page. Thanks guys. Okay, so let's get back. So I said I would come down on my waistline by 1 inch. Why? Because the style line I want to create, I don't want by the time of the day when I want to start making my pleats with the fabric on the waistline, it just remains on the waistline. I want it to balance off on the waistline so I can sit properly. Okay, so it sits properly. So I'll go ahead and place in my waistline. Her waist is 47, which is 11.75. Okay, 11.75. So whatever it is you're doing, do not forget to replace the darts you're taking off. So I will make sure the darts I'm taking off, I will take it into cognizance. Okay, this is 2.2. I'll place the 2.2 here. 2.2. Don't forget you're going to sew the two panels by 1/2 inch. So I'll impute in my 1/2 inch, okay, plus my sewing allowance afterwards. I will impute 2 inch for sewing allowance. By the time I'm done sewing the bustier and everything, I'll place back on fold and recut to the measurement I want. So whatever it is you have here, you might likely want to bring it down to this place also. Okay, let's say I have a total of 17. I'll bring it down also. So I'll move over to the bust. The bust is 45.5, which is 11.25. No, 45 is 11.25 plus half. That's 11.5. If I'm not mistaken. 11.5. Okay. 11.5. What I usually do on this bust point is just adding 3.5 to 4 inches. Okay, 3.5 to 4 inches. Okay, whatever it is I have on this bust line, I will take it back to the chest line. 15.6. So I'll just do 15.5 here. Okay. So you might be wondering, this is an underaged woman. She has a big tummy. She has a very big tummy. So you might be wondering how the curve is looking like. So just go ahead and connect. Okay. So what I'll do next is connect all lines. This, and I'll connect to the waistline. I hope the camera is capturing very clear on my here. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, now we're about to cut. So what we will do is, okay, let's map out the neckline. So I want to come up 1/2 inch. I feel it's too deep for her. She's an aged woman. You don't want it too open. You don't want it too open. And I think I want to go out by 0.2 here as well. So I'm going to make this curve. Okay. So please ignore this other point. Ignore this. So what I'm going to do next is impute and bust that measurement. And bust that measurement. The difference between the front half length and the back half length, which is 1.5. Which is 1.5. So at this 1.5, I'll connect it directly to the bust point. Okay, that is how you eliminate the difference between the front and the back. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut. This is basically it for the front panel. So I'll go ahead and cut and place it on my fabric. So which means I'll start the neckline first. And cut at where I gaped and not on the first line. I'll move down to my hemline. So this is the full length I talked about here. I took the darts all the way down, so I'll move down to my hemline. I'm trying to place my paper tape, my sellotape, so the